Welcome back. In this video, we're going to go over navigating between web pages. All right. So I am in the Inhouz app builder. In our demo application, I have two pages. I have my index page and I have another page called the second page. I also have a not found page, which is a page that gets served up whenever we are in a situation where there is no page existing for the routes that a user tries to open up. All right, let me make this a little bit bigger. Just change some of the style configuration, make this bold. Let's just blow up the font size really quickly. Call it 3 rem. Let's just go to the second page, do the exact same thing. Just make it bold, increase the font size. All right, there we go. So now we can basically see very clearly this is our first page and this is our second page. All right, perfect. Now let's navigate from page to page. Before we do that, just a quick refresher on routes and how they work. All right, so if I were to go into my page manager and look into my index page, this is our root page, hence why we don't have any slug. This page actually shows up. If we go to our route parameters, we see that we have no slug and we don't have any route parameters as well. All right. If we go to the second page, however, we have a slug of second. All right. So if we go into our app data, into our app settings, you're going to see, some route specific settings like the routes, the query string parameters, if any, the route parameters. As you can see here, we have our slug. And as you can see, we have all the basic things we need to basically identify what page we are on. If we switch to the second page and go back into our app data, we can see that the slug is now second. We can see that the path has changed, the href has changed. So we can see that, our app is tracking our page in the app data, at least based on our route configurations. This is going to come in handy whenever you need to use a slug and whenever you need to use route parameters to query for data specific to a page. All right, so let's close this up. Now, to navigate to a page in a web application, you're going to need a link component or a link block, right? So the link component is pretty much just a text like a link. Let's just navigate into this link real quick. I'm going to change it to a static text that basically just says navigate to second page. All right. So let's look at the properties of our link elements. So we have our action type. There are a few action types. There's a href, which just means that we are opening up a URL. We have navigate to page, which just means that we are navigating to a page. Navigate to a page section. So if you had a big or long page and you wanted to navigate from section to section, you can. And because it's a link element, we can use it for different things based on the fact that it's a HTML link element. We can use it for quick emails like mail tos. We can use it for telephones. So like, a click on it, it will attempt to call, a phone number. And we can also use it for downloading data. So this is a standard HTML link element. We have some custom properties, but the rest of it is your standard HTML, attributes. As you can see, when it's a href, meaning that it opens up, based on a URL that is supplied to the URL attributes. We have a target attribute that basically, the goal of the target attribute is basically to set how you want this page to open, right? Blank means that you want it to open in a blank page. Self means that you want it to open on the same page. Parent means that you want it to open on the same page. This is your standard HTML link target attribute, all right? And use dynamic text. And dynamic. This is your standard in-house cloud dynamic text configuration, because at the end of the day, the link component still has text properties. All right, and then you have the title, which is your standard title, the draggable, which is your standard draggable HTML attributes, and then the is non-reactive, which is a performance optimization attribute used in list elements. All right. So if I wanted to, navigate from page to page in a very clean way, all I need to do is just select navigate to page. And then all I need to do is provide the path to the page. So here, the path to the page is /second. All right, that's it. If I were to click on our link, oops, I did not realize that I was in the second page already. Funny, but perfect. Let's change that to just slash. Change this to navigate to first page. I'm going to leave all of it in there. All right. And that's it. When I click on this button, it takes me to the first page. I can do the same thing. I could drag in a link element. I could go ahead and change our link element. I can change the text, and I can say navigate to second page. Change this action type from href to navigate to page. Put in our page path of /second. And that's it. Now when I click on navigate to second page, it takes me to the second page, and I can navigate to the first page, and I can go back and forth. So that in a nutshell is how to navigate from page to page. If you wanted to open up whole links, you can use the href. If you want to navigate using the app router, internal router, you could basically use navigate to page. And one thing you should notice is that the in-house app builder is built on top of the React library. So when you use the page navigation, you take advantage of the single page nature of apps built on the in-house platform. If you notice, the browser did not refresh when we went from the first to the second page, and the same thing applies when we go from the second to the first. But let's say if we were to use the href, let's get that href link from over here. Let's copy that. So I am on the first page. If I were to put that href link and say second, okay. All right, perfect. So now if I were to, and I say let's do it on self, all right, change that to self because we want it to open up on the same tab. So now when I click on, let me just go ahead and save this. So when I click on navigate to second page, it happens very quickly, but there we go. It basically opens up using the href. It reloads the page. If I go to the if I keep on clicking on that, you notice that it's basically working as we expected. All right, href self, and it's navigating us to the second page. But unfortunately, I made a mistake again. I mean the second page, I should navigate back to the first page. So let's just blow this up, get rid of our second page slug here. Alright, I'm going to save this. Now when I click on the button, it navigates to the first page, right? And it reloads the browser. And when I click on navigate to the second page, it does not reload the browser because it's using the single page internal navigation. But when I click using a href, it refreshes. So now hrefs are going to come in very handy when you want to load a specific page. Maybe you want to open up a new tab. Maybe you're trying to load up a different website resource or a different app, whatever the case may be. So that in a nutshell is page navigation on the Inhouz Cloud app builder. All right, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.